I've got a ear condition called cauliflower ear, which happens to a lot of wrestlers or grapplers, people who do judo and jiu-jitsu. And it's basically trauma to the ear that causes blood to flow in there, maybe, to like heal the trauma. But because the blood flows in there, it puffs up. And then if you don't deal with it, it basically like congeals and permanently becomes that way. It hardens, and your ear stays in that shape, and it looks like a cauliflower, which is why it's called cauliflower ear. I guess you could call it broccoli ear, but basically that type of thing. And I've had it before, but it's never really been painful like it is now, and it's never lasted as long as this one has. And so I'm kind of treating it. I've had the blood drained from it a couple times. I've started to ice it. I've been using these magnets, which you put the magnets on the ear, and they close down on each other, so the blood can't flow into that place. And I'm just observing my relation to the injury, because it's bothersome, but it's one of those things that it's not so bad that I can't train. I did take a couple of days off, so I mean, it was troubling enough that I stepped away for a couple of days. But I'm just I'm noticing my own relation to it and asking myself, like, how much do I do to address the injury? And I definitely have this approach to injuries where it's like, on the one side of the spectrum, you just ignore it. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, you do every possible thing to address it. And I think, in the past, when I was younger, I was more towards the ignore it side of the spectrum. And you can get away with that a lot when you're younger. As you get older, it gets harder. I wouldn't say that now I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm probably somewhere in the middle. But I don't like treating injuries. Maybe nobody does, but it's kind of like I wish it would just go away and stop bothering me. And so I have to get myself to do stuff about it. And I guess I'm just asking myself, what's my best? Because there's definitely a part of me that just wants to ignore it and let it harden and say, whatever, like skip to the end. But that's not quite my best. So I'm trying to find kind of what feels right to do. And everybody's got different advice on how to treat it. So there comes a point where it's like listening to people just becomes overwhelming and kind of counterproductive. But I'm thinking to myself, how does this relate to everyday life. Like this is a microcosm for how I deal with problems in everyday life. And there's definitely a desire to ignore it and hope that it goes away, which usually it doesn't. You have to actually address something in order for it to change. And then there's also the kind of tendency to overdo the attention on it. And I don't know what the right answer is. I guess I just try to see what feels right in each given moment, and not try to decide ahead of time, you know, how long I'm going to take to treat it. Like I'll have to treat it as long as I have to treat it. I wish it would go away sooner, but it's already been around for like a week or more, and that means I'm that much closer to it being over, but I don't know how long that's going to take. So, I'm treating my ear and trying to notice patterns of behavior that apply to other parts of my life and see how I can be more effective in those parts of my life.